So, a couple things that we wanted to talk about and touch on today. We were going to have, of course, Kate was going to be joining us from ADP, and we're going to talk about some more payroll things. But I think we'll table that for next week because, just as Carrie had mentioned, sometimes there's Intuit shenanigans that that go on, and you have to deal with those types of things. So, I wanted to share my screen here, and we want to talk about a little bit about a new one that just happened today. You want to set it up here, Carrie, while
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure.
first of all, I've been in the reseller program since 2008, and the hardest person that we compete with is Intuit. So they're one thing that they invest heavily in. They invest in their products and so forth, but they invest a lot of money in marketing. So they in their marketing and actually, as I said in my class, we as pro advisors get really, really frustrated. Why are they doing this? Why in the world are they doing it? So as we can see in this email, this
Yeah. So
letter,
what you posted here on Facebook is an
yeah,
email that was sent to all of your. You said
all my desktop clients.
all of your desktop clients, right? And
So let
um,
me give a background of those. Those are my clients that are happy. They're in the They know that
happy in
they know
desktop.
QBO might be in their future, but they're tracking inventory or job costs, and we have told them stay put until the features are there or we have a
Right.
solution. So they're happy as a lark, minding their own business, keeping the noise
Right.
away, and they get this potential security risk due to end support for your QuickBooks desktop browser. Well, that's enough for
Right.
my client to literally have a heart attack and email me
Right.
and say, "Now what?" Last thing we want
Yeah.
is a hack.
So this will certainly get your attention, right? As you're getting an email, but
June
the
15th is already passed. Oh my god.
June 15th is in the past, and you're getting this today,
Yeah.
and 2 weeks later, right? But the backstory here is that every web page that's in QuickBooks Desktop, so that whether you're going to the help menu and you know find a pro advisor, find a local expert, or um,
They
anything that
probably
looks like a web page that's inside of QuickBooks Desktop is actually using Internet Explorer to display them. So if it's got a hyperlink or things of that nature, you will see. You'll be able to click on it just like you were clicking on a web page, and sometimes you'll see pages that actually are web pages inside of QuickBooks. But QuickBooks Desktop will be using and has used since the dawn of time, Internet Explorer as its embedded web browser, regardless of whether your default web browser is Chrome or Firefox or Safari or whatever. Right? It doesn't matter what your computer says is the default browser. Anything that's inside of QuickBooks will use Internet Explorer. So Internet Explorer has been on the chopping block at Microsoft for a long, long time. And they stopped developing it when Microsoft Edge came out with one of the versions of Windows. I think it was 8. So that's how old
what are they
this
what is Microsoft using as a browser now?
Edge, yeah, Microsoft Edge,
Edge. Okay. I've
which
never even
which
touched that.
which horribly enough, the logos are almost identical, right? Like there's a light blue E for for Microsoft Internet Explorer, and then there's a little darker shade of blue E. It's still lowercase. I mean, it looks almost identical for Microsoft Edge, but then they changed it to kind of look a little more like Chrome, but it's still the different shades of blue. So by looking at it, I remember talking to somebody and it's like, those people should sue. I'm like, well, they're the same company. I mean, so so they have the same problem that Intuit does. Sometimes, they have browser wars in and of themselves.
So then
Um,
instead of just moving this to Edge, they just created
right,
their own.
right. So Intuit, and it makes sense, rather than having to deal with the security
This nonsense.
protocols and things like that with another default web browser. They decided to create their own internal web browser. and utilize that to be able to do that. So that's the replacement for Internet Explorer. So all you have to do, if you're a desktop client, if you're using desktop, all you have to do to get that is just update your QuickBooks. Right, you just
Right.
download the update, and you'll get the new embedded internal
Now,
browser, and so this potential security risk will be alleviated because it's no longer dependent on Internet Explorer to do those
right.
pages, because it's it's basically a sinking ship, right? So if you're relying on if the program's relying on a web browser that's not up to security protocols to block nefarious people from doing things, that does pose a security risk when you're in your QuickBooks, for somebody to maybe sneak in, find some data. You've got a lot of personally identifiable data in your QuickBooks, so that's why it is a security risk to use to do that. But as long as you've downloaded the latest update in QuickBooks, all versions. So I'm going to
Okay,
also
so
put
I
in
got that wrong.
all live versions. So I'm going to post this as a
I need to let
as
my
a
client that emailed me originally in this know that she just needs to get the latest
yeah.
update. If she's in 2021, she's fine.
Yep. Yeah, and it's current versions of QuickBooks. So 2020, 2021, and 2022 will have this browser. So they just need to download the latest update, install it, and then they're good to go. So they don't have to do anything. But the email doesn't mention anything about that.
Right. So
Right?
curiously enough, it just mentions currently using an unsupported version of desktop, which made me panic and think my customer had to go ahead and buy 2022 subscription when she's currently on the last non-subscription version of QuickBooks. So it's
Mhm.
tricky marketing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a fine line with what it is, what they're doing. But then you can see, oh, all you have to do is just update to QuickBooks Online. Easy enough, right, Carrie? You just sign up for a whole new
No, because the
a
customer I
whole
have is on point of sale with that is designed to work with desktop financial accounting, and she's got it
yeah.
working. If she moved her stuff, she'd be in a huge disaster.
Yeah. So this is definitely not something that someone in that situation would want to do, because QuickBooks Point of Sale doesn't even talk to QuickBooks Online. But they don't know that, right? Like they don't know other things that are happen to be there. That just that solves for QuickBooks's issue, not the entire business. So, and that's what QuickBooks solution providers like Carrie and other folks will will be able to speak to, and that's why you're getting this influx of emails now because of this trigger event of this particular email. I saw another version of this where it would just say, all you have to do is update, but now it's I guess because it's 2 weeks later and they're still detecting that they haven't updated or whatever it is that caused this email to come to them. Just bear that in mind. That they would only need to download the latest update inside of QuickBooks and then get the internal browser here. So I posted both of those links.
So,
Uh,
and so to clarify, because I'm fixing all my updates posted because I got everybody on
you got
fire.
everybody in an uproar.
So here's my question. So what version is supported? 2021 and 22?
Yeah,
The last 3. Okay.
2020, 2021, and
Hmm.
2022.
2020 is kind of a cursed land of stuff, but okay,
Yeah.
I've got to fix my thing to say. And you go to the where do you go, Dan? Just so that I'm very clear. You go to help and then
Yeah, you go.
update the latest.
Mhm.
What is
Yep.
it?
There's a link there for it, right there in that article that I sent out to update the latest release. Even give you a
Latest
little
release. That's
video
the
of
word I'm looking
how to update it, and then how to install said update. You can do a manual update, downloading it directly from into its website if you wanted to. If it doesn't work, inside the program. So now you're fixing your
Yeah, because it was
Chicken Little
right.
sky is falling posts. But this is the kind of stuff that they do that causes,
Fear. It's
uh,
a marketing trick
yeah.
called fear. And actually, in the reseller program, we were taught it too, like, create fear of not getting something done. Like, here's an example. Somebody comes to us and they're saying, "I don't have my inventory recorded and properly set up in my software." Any software, they come to us completely doing nothing. One of the things you were supposed to say is, "Well, what's the cost of not doing anything?"
Mm,
What does it cost to simply do nothing? Well, it might cost you a lot if you're not tracking your inventory. You might have people stealing it. You might be having people selling it below your cost. There's a lot of things you can do by mismanaging that huge asset. So, anyway, this peer marketing works, and I would have hated for my client who's happy, not mine. She's keeping her, keeping things so organized. Super cool company. It's a equestrian supply company, horses and tracks. Remember we were doing consignment? She tracks like saddles and stuff.
mhm.
Really neat. So she uses QuickBooks as a tool to manage her business. She uses everything,
Yeah.
but boom,
But at least she has a good enough relationship to you that she reached out to you before acting on that email
yeah,
because of the security risk.
yeah.
And yeah, so that's that. If you have any questions or concerns, please put a comment or something in the chat on the YouTube, Facebook, and we'll be able to speak to that.